Happy 4th of July, unit, and more importantly for the Amplified, man. Happy Stranger Things Day, right? This is season 3 of Stranger Things. It just dropped on Netflix at 3:01 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm 3 episodes in so far. I wanted to take a break and give you guys this impromptu 4th of July video as a thank you for supporting the Amplified Man and the channel. So, after 3 episodes, things are heating up. It's getting really good. I felt this was a good time to take a break, ponder, and take in everything that I just watched. Once I'm done with this video, we're marathoning it, and we're going to polish off the rest of the season. 5 episodes in a row. So it should be fun. But I wanted to take this time to focus this video around 2 individuals, 2 ladies that we have not seen in WWE in years, one being AJ Lee, the other being Melina. AJ Lee, you kinda knew you wouldn't see for a long time. Melina, we don't know why we haven't seen her for a long time. In the last 10 days, both were asked if they'd ever return to wrestling, and both had unique telling answers that I'm about to go over. I'll start with Melina. You know, you have this evolution supposedly the last couple of years that Stephanie McMahon proclaimed was going to revolutionize women's wrestling, specifically WWE. But in this evolution, we saw a lot of women come back, a lot of the legends, if you will, and Hall of Famers, but there's some that never even received a phone call, like Melina. And it boggles a lot of us fans' minds because she was one of the brighter parts in pro wrestling back in the day. She actually had a character, a uniqueness, and she could go in the ring, very athletic. Not saying the best of the best, but there was a presence with Melina at a time where we really yearned for that from a lot of these ladies. Melina was recently asked on Lillian Garcia's podcast, this was just in the last few weeks, on not being asked to return to the women's revolution as a whole, more specifically the Evolution pay-per-view. Melina said this: "I can't ask the whys, because then I'm going to drive myself crazy. I learned that there's usually no rhyme or reason. There's nothing specific. It's just whatever is going on in that moment, that's what they're going to do. So I can't drive myself crazy wondering why. It just is what it is." So this was a whole lot of running around the answer when she could have just said what's really on her mind, what we really gathered from that, which is, I have no idea. I was willing, ready, and able, and they never called me. That's the gist of this. This whole evolution/revolution the past few years, Melina was absolutely willing to come back to WWE, albeit for a day, a month, or a year. Melina was ready. So she doesn't know why she never even got the phone call. Lillian also asked her on not getting called for the Women's Royal Rumble at least. Just a spot in the Rumble for 5 minutes. And Melina said, "I admit, there's a little part of me that thinks, like, that would have been nice. I would have liked to have, or felt I was part of something and helped maintain something," meaning what she did in the past with WWE. "I feel like our generation, the Diva era, we kept it together when everybody hated us. When everybody kept saying this is a pee break or this is a bathroom break, people could be mean. They wouldn't give us a chance even when we wrestled our hearts out. I can speak. Our hearts out. We gave our all in that era when people refused." And can I just say, because this goes along with what Paige said when she blamed the fans. Melina's not necessarily blaming the fans. She's saying it was a rough time. Paige actually blamed the fans during that era. And all I gotta say is you can blame your boss, Vince McMahon. The fans were only taking in what Vince was giving us. There was no importance put on that division. There was nothing of substance that we should be watching and saying, hey, this is the greatest wrestling. Vince did that, so you gotta blame him first. The fans are going to react accordingly. So I did just want to say that, because the fans get trashed a lot during that Attitude Era for the women, but that's how they were being portrayed. So every now and again, when you got a good wrestling match with the ladies, you can't blame the fans for not really believing into it or buying into it when Vince never really believed into it or bought into it. Anyway, that's going off subject. Back to Melina. She said, There was backlash when Trish and Lita left because their favorite female wrestlers were gone. She said the Diva era didn't bother her at all because the women she worked with had heart and passion. She put over all of the women from all eras, including the women who got contracts from the Diva search. So she's saying she didn't have an ego. There was rumors that she was getting people fired and she had pull backstage, when she's saying that's not true. I was putting everyone else over. She was then asked, what does the future hold? And Melina said, I've got 1 or 2 more good years left in me for professional wrestling. 1 or 2 more good years. I'm pretty sure over half the audience out there of pro wrestling, they thought Melina was just retired. They thought Melina was done. They thought Melina didn't want to wrestle anymore, and that's why we haven't seen her. Bullshit. She's actually wrestling indie matches as we speak. Maybe not like literally as we speak, but today, like in today's world, July 2019, she's wrestling independent matches. She's had some injuries in the past, but she's wrestling still. And when she was asked about coming back, she said, I got 1 or 2 more good years left in me. And she is absolutely willing to come back to WWE. They've never given her a phone call. Why would we not want to see her in like a Royal Rumble at least? But she has 1 or 2 more good years from her own words, so why would you not have her come back in like a Mickie James situation? You guys remember when they brought Mickie back, it was for a one-time slang bang type opportunity with Asuka at NXT TakeOver, and that was just the job to Asuka, make Asuka more dominant. I love that. And Asuka came out looking dominant. She beat Mickie James, but Mickie James had such a phenomenal performance, she was so freaking good, that they brought her up to the main roster and gave her a contract. And Mickie James to this day is putting people over. The thing with Mickie James is she was so good, she could have held more championships on her last run here at WWE. And she will be coming back, by the way. She's injured again. We hope Mickie James, nothing but the best and a fast recovery. But she is injured again, and that's why you haven't seen Mickie James. But she will be back. She's still under contract for at least another year from what we're told. But my point is, they gave her a contract because she was so damn good. She's so damn good she could have held more championships, but instead she's been putting people over. Well, why can't Melina do that? You can't give her a 1 to 2 year contract, have her come back. It's going to be an awesome sight for the fans. You know there's a presence there with Melina. You know she's going to bring something to the table, and she could put people over. In fact, I would book her winning her first feud. I would have her feuding with some up-and-coming newbie that doesn't have a big name, but they get their name from a little bit of a rub from Melina. Melina ends up winning the feud, but this new up-and-comer, they get a rub from Melina, and that could do wonders for their career. Then Melina's second feud, I would have her with somebody a little bit more well-named, more well-known, and Melina will end up losing that feud after a couple of months, ultimately. And that better name gets even more of a rub from Melina. But then you could have Melina in a couple more feuds throughout the year. And she can help put people over, and we all get to see Melina during her last run. You could put her with Zelina. That would not only be a good match, but you could do something with Zelina and Andrade, and maybe Melina hooks up with a dude, not literally hooks up, but wrestling-wise, and we get a little mixed tag action there. You're already putting Zelina and Andrade in all these mixed tag matches lately. They just had one on Tuesday SmackDown. Now they're going to go over Monday night and take on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch from what we're hearing. Why can't Melina have one of those mixed tag matches? Melina and Zelina? Not just because their names rhyme, but I think that would be pretty fucking... I think talent-wise, that would be a good match. You could do a lot with Melina, and it just takes a phone call. The women's division is all but dead right now. You have all this awesome talent, nobody's being used. Sasha Banks is so pissed off she had to walk away. Ember Moon and Naomi can't even get TV time, and when they do, they're in 2-minute matches. Ember Moon just celebrated her first victory, and God knows when. And that was a 2-minute match. Asuka and Kairi Sane can't get on TV. They're just wrestling, whatever you want to call it. They're just on live events. No television time. They're going to get a title opportunity, though, at Extreme Rules or whatever. They may even win the championships. And what's that going to do for Kairi and Asuka? 2 of the best in the world stuck in a tag team that Vince doesn't care about. The titles won't do anything for the Kabuki Warriors or whatever you want to call them. All of this talent not being utilized at all. Instead, you got Alexa Bliss parading out there every single show, Mandy Rose parading out there every show, Lacey Evans parading out there every show. If you're a blonde bombshell, you're going to parade out there every show. It's the bottom line. So I see no reason why Melina can't come back, man. Now, moving on. That's Melina. She has said again in just the last couple of weeks, she doesn't know why she didn't get a call from WWE. She's absolutely willing and able and ready to come back if asked. The ball has been in WWE's court. I don't know what the fuck they're waiting for. Tremendous talent right there, man, still. And she says she has 1 to 2 more good years. What the fuck? Sign her for 1 to 2 more good years, man. Have her end her career out in WWE the way it should be, in a future Hall of Fame, hopefully. On the flip side, AJ Lee. Now, this is a little bit more complex. We know she wasn't coming back anytime soon because her husband, CM Punk, is a drama queen. And this guy needs all the fucking attention. This guy needs all the fucking headlines. This guy, even when he left WWE, he went to play UFC fighter, even though he fucking failed miserably. He tried to be a comic book writer, failed miserably. He's trying to be an actor now. Hey, nothing but the best, hopefully, for this guy. Hopefully he could do good. But the bottom line is, man, when you start failing at everything and you got your success in one thing, which is pro wrestling, why would you constantly bash the one thing that made you famous? The one thing that put the CM Punk name on the pedestal, that put that on the marquee? And every chance CM Punk gets, he bashes the WWE. He bashes pro wrestling. However, he was just caught a few months ago dressing up in a mask, in a hoodie, and running into the ring and doing his fucking moves. Well, if you hate it so much, why do you keep coming back? I'll tell you why. It's because it's in his bloodstream. It's his passion still. He loves pro wrestling and he puts on this front. And instead of saying, hey, I still love it, but WWE ruined it for me a little bit, the way they worked behind the scenes and the way it all went down, the way it all unfolded, it sucked. But I still love pro wrestling. But instead of doing that, he's got to save face. He's got to look like the cool guy and call it that fake world. And he's got to bash it. But anytime there's an autograph session that's going to make him a lot of money, there's Punk sitting down, signing that shit, taking those pictures, and getting everybody's wrestling money. So anyway, that's a little side spiel that I have, a little beef I have with the Punk man, the drama queen. So we knew that the wife of CM Punk, and unfortunately this is AJ Lee, we knew we weren't going to see her in WWE anytime soon. However, just recently, she did this interview with Christine Leahy, I want to say. I don't know who this Christine is. Maybe she's famous for nothing like the Kardashians, or maybe she is fucking famous for something and I just never seen her work. Whatever it is, she kind of looks just fucking stiff. I don't see anything special about this Christine Leahy, but she's got her own talk show, and for some reason, AJ Lee wanted to spill the beans on this show. So that's what they did. They talked a lot about, almost 10 minutes, about her pro wrestling career. That's significant because AJ Lee very rarely talks a lot of pro wrestling these days. So to have 10 minutes dedicated to pro wrestling and what got her into the business and where she kind of knew when she had to leave, which she says it's when she started seeing people kind of taking their characters and their stories too seriously in their spots. But that is not enough to make you walk away for 5+ years, right? We know why she truly left, and it's because Punk left her husband, so she wanted to be the good wife. And I'm about to prove that to all the diehard AJ Lee fans that tried to fight me on that. They tried to take AJ Lee's word and said, she's got a neck injury, BC, and that's why she can't compete. And I said, bullshit. Her neck injury is not keeping her out of action. It's just an injury. Shit, Nikki Bella came back from an even worse severe injury to the neck, and she even came back. Wrestled several matches. Whether it's the right thing to do or not, that's in the eye of the beholder. What I'm saying is this injury that AJ Lee had is not big enough to keep her out of the ring, and she knows that, and that's why she hasn't doubled down on it. And I can prove that in what she said in this interview, and I will in a minute. Secondly, all the diehard AJ Lee fans also said, well, BC, it's because she lost her passion. I called bullshit. She was a champion at the time. This all culminated when Punk left WWE in that hostile situation, and AJ Lee felt, you know what, this is not the environment I should be in. Somebody with mental health issues as well, she knew she should get out of that environment. So that's awesome. That doesn't mean she lost her passion. That's still what she loved to do, and she was at the top of her game. Vince McMahon was giving her general manager roles as a female, mind you. Think about that. Vince McMahon was giving her multiple championships. In fact, even when the CM Punk drama hit, AJ Lee still went and won the championship. So don't bullshit me and say she just automatically one day woke up and lost her passion. Just coincidentally, a month after CM Punk and this drama went down with WWE. I called bullshit. She didn't lose her passion. Her neck injury didn't stop her. She's just being the good wife. And she was just asked if fans would ever see her back in a pro wrestling ring again. And AJ Lee said, and I quote, "Never say never. Because every time I've said never in my life, I've ended up doing the thing I said I never would do." She said, "But I say that I don't know what the future holds. Do not hold your breath, but never say never." So she is leaving that door wide open. Never say never. That's the old WWE quote that they always said. That was Vince McMahon's line because Vince knew he always held the door open. Whether it was Warrior and their beef, Hogan and their beef, Punk one day will probably be in a WWE ring again. He always holds the door open. That's Vince McMahon's line. Never say never. That became a WWE slogan. And here's AJ Lee in this interview saying, never say never. Even if it isn't with WWE at first, could she show up at AEW if that con money is good enough? $1 million for 6 months, who knows? In 12 appearances like a Brock Lesnar schedule. Who knows? Money talks. AJ Lee actually said that in this interview. There was a segment that something was asked, and AJ Lee said, money talks, and you know that. And AJ Lee knows that if it's the right business opportunity and she still has wrestling, it's who she was and still is. Trust me, pro wrestling is in her. It's a big part of her life. She still to this day tweets out memorable matches and moments. It's in her life. Why would you never, ever, ever again come back, even just to say hi to the fans? Why would you never do that? Just because your husband had a bad experience on his way out, he started crying and he took his ball and he ran home. I got it. BC, they received the fax on their wedding day. You would never return. Bullshit. You give me a fat check and a chance to say what's up to my fans? I'll put bygones aside. I may not look at Vince the same way and Stephanie. I may hold that grudge. I may hold some animosity. I might never fully forgive. But I'll come back. The fuck? I'm not a 5-year-old child. No, you did that to me. I'm never taking your $1 million. I'm never saying hello to my people again in that ring. Go to another ring. Why would what Vince and WWE did prevent AJ from showing up to AEW for just a few appearances even if it's one match in 4 appearances? And collect fucking $500,000. Say what's up to your fans. Fans get to see you. Why would you never do that? This goes beyond a neck injury. This goes beyond losing your passion. This is somebody who is hooked up with this drama queen Punk, and they just are like, I don't know about this return thing. I don't know when I should do it. And Punk's like, don't do it, AJ. It's bullshit, man. You're better than wrestling. You're more than wrestling. What the fuck? This isn't about being more than wrestling. You can't show up. CM Punk gets to do everything. AJ Lee gets to do nothing. She got to write her fucking book and save the animals. And I'm awesome with them, and that's really great. I love fucking animals more than human beings. But CM Punk is over here trying to play UFC super fighter and totally getting his fucking dome piece bashed in. But he gets to get all those headlines while AJ Lee's at home writing a book. Then he puts his name on comic books. And then he's over there fucking now trying to act. He's dabbing into everything. And while he's doing that, he's putting on a mask and he's showing up to independent shows and putting on his GTS moves and getting the roar from the fucking independent crowd, and then he gets to leave. So obviously that passion never left CM Punk. That's still in him because he's still doing it. But AJ Lee doesn't get to do that. AJ Lee doesn't even get to show up for one event. Bullshit. Major bullshit. It's like Stockholm Syndrome is what I call it, man. That's what Punk is. I mean, Punk has this fucking superpower over AJ Lee, man. I'm not saying he's holding her captive, but shit, something is up. There has to be a reason why somebody who is in phenomenal shape like AJ Lee has not even returned at all to wrestling for one day to say what's up to the fans. They never had a kid or anything like that. She has a pristine body still. She's still very athletically toned. She can go in the ring today, I bet. Yet she has never stepped foot in like 5 years. What's the deal other than her drama queen husband? Nobody can bullshit me on that. I know for a fact it's like a brainwash job. It's Stockholm Syndrome. You can't tell me for 1 second that if she wasn't married to CM Punk, that you would not have seen AJ Lee in the last 5 years. Do you realize the career that she has had in WWE, the short time that she was there? Multiple time Divas champion, even though she tried to go against the grain and call it a women's championship, but multiple time champion. She was one of the only female general managers. She had amazing storylines, and she was only there a few years. Could you imagine if she stayed and she was with WWE the last 5? Maybe the women's division would actually still be something. Or I shouldn't say still, I don't know if it ever was fully something, but it could be something today maybe with people like AJ Lee. Possibly. I know she would still be epic, because even in a weak division, AJ Lee stood out. Vince saw something in AJ Lee, and then all of a sudden she was just gone because of this CM Punk drama. And we've never seen her again. It's sad. I honestly look at that. It's not even anger. It's sad that one career can be affected so much by this drama queen. That pisses me off. It's sad, and it does piss me off, actually. You know? It's like you want to... Oh, man. That's the vigilante in me, you know what I mean? It gets me fucking red. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Let your fucking girl go or help her regain that fulfillment of going out in front of that crowd, saying what's up in pro wrestling, being a big part of her life. Don't try to stymie that. Don't try to make that worse for her. Don't try to take and steal that passion from her. Let her be. She just quit one day and started writing books and saving animals, and that was it? Wrestling was dead to her? I find that hard to believe. Bullshit. Oh, man. This fucking Punk character, you know what I mean? I always say it's not personal beef, but the things he does, he's just a douchebag, man. He's somebody that I would rectify things over a coffee, no doubt, but me and Punk would never be friends because he's just got this douchey vibe to him. This guy, there's things I just can't stand about him. Not personal beef, it's just, if we were ever in a professional setting, I would be professional around him and with him, but there would be a distance. It's not enough to say it's a personal beef, there would definitely be a distance. This guy just irks me the wrong way. And the AJ Lee situation doesn't help. Anyway, I went off on a side spiel, obviously, because that's a heated subject and topic for the Amplified Man. You guys know that. But the bottom line is all you need to know is AJ Lee left the door wide open in the past few days. She said never say never. Don't hold your breath, as the Amplified Man says, but never say never. She gave the WWE Vince line. So I felt that was interesting. And even if it is an AEW, even if it's an independent show, when we see the footage on YouTube, man, just to see her back and say what's up and have the fans show their respect, man. Because the fact that she hasn't even shown up once in like 5 years, something like that, right? The fact she has not showed up once tells you there's something more than just losing passion. Something more than just an injury that people think took her out. When she said never say never, that took away the whole theory that an injury has kept her out and kept her in retirement. No, she said nothing about an injury. She said never say never about returning to pro wrestling. So that X-nays everyone that thought it was an injury. Everyone who thought she just lost her passion and doesn't want to return. Never say never. She didn't lose her passion. There's something more at play, and it's CM Drama Queen. Anyway. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the impromptu video. That's Melina saying, hey, just waiting on the phone call. I'll be there. And that's AJ Lee saying, hey, never say never. So in the future, I wouldn't be totally shocked. Actually, yes, I would with AJ Lee. But I wouldn't be totally shocked if Melina does get one more run in WWE because I see no reason why not. And as far as AJ Lee, she just has to... Man, you never tell somebody how to run their life. But for a day... You can't say what's up and show everyone that you're truly good, that wrestling didn't fucking just damage you to the point where you can't even fucking go to an event. That's bad if that's the case. When you were on top of the world in pro wrestling, and one day you're just gone. So for AJ Lee and Melina, hopefully that never say never is absolutely true, and hopefully we see them in the future, in some capacity in the pro wrestling world. They deserve it. The way they both left and never came back leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. They deserve a good send-off. One last good hurrah and goodbye. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Amplified man, thank you guys for joining me for this impromptu video. The podcast is coming up later this week. I gotta go check out the rest of Stranger Things Season 3. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. The Amplified man. The Amplified man. Singing. That motherfucker. Check you.